almost to the end of March, which means we're almost to the end of Women's History Month, which is sad because this is one of my favorite months to produce content. But it means we get to make our second book nook. And the theme for our second book nook is, drumroll please, the Trimates! Yeah, okay, Brianna, who the heck are the Trimates? If you're unfamiliar with who the Trimates are, I am referring to the triple team of Jane Goodall, Dian Fossey, and Birute Galdikas. Many of you probably know who Jane Goodall is. A smaller proportion of you probably know who Dian Fossey is, and a probably even smaller proportion of you know who Birute Galdikas is. But Jane Goodall studied chimpanzees, Dian Fossey studied gorillas, and Birute Galdikas studied orangutans. And together they are known as the Trimates because they are all part of the same kind of groundbreaking studies run by Louis Leakey to study the origins of life. So first Jane Goodall was sent out to study chimpanzees, then Dian Fossey, then Birute Galdikas. Wow, I cannot say her last name today. Let me slow down. And they were sent to study the great apes and to learn more about them. So we're gonna kind of fuse them all together into one camp and make a Trimates themed book nook. If you guys are unfamiliar with what's happening, for my long format content in March, I have been making book nooks or little bookshelf decorations, and my last one I made was Marie Curie themed, so go check it out. It turned out really cute, and we're gonna make another one today. So I have here our Blake canvas. That's gonna build our little box, but first, we gotta talk design. Okay, we know the rules, no judging my drawing. So first I wanna kind of split this up into 3 layers. So the top layer is going to be a canopy of trees. The middle layer is going to be like a little platform tent, because you know it's a campsite. They gotta be tenting. And then this foreground layer is gonna be like the ground, but it's gonna have like a campfire that's actually going to glow. Fire! At the foreground layer, I also want to have my little chimpanzees with a Jane Goodall. That'll be like the chimpanzee layer. I think in this kind of tucked away back corner, we're gonna put our gorillas, which means Dian Fossey needs to be somewhere around here because she was gorilla lady. And then up in the trees, we're gonna have some orangutans hanging. And then Birute Galdikas is going to be maybe hopefully like looking up at them because she studied the orangutans. So yeah, we're going for multi-layered camp foresty vibes, actually functioning campfire, and all of the gorillas. Not all the gorillas, all of the primates. As we know, my execution is actually going to be way better than a drawing, so ignore how ugly the drawing is. And let's take a look at what I have so far. Oh, my leg broke off my platform. Here's my platform that's gonna sit in the middle of this. The tent is going to go on. I gotta glue the leg back on. And then I have some like fake moss and like tree bark-esque stuff I figured I'd use to make kind of that forest canopy layer. That's the top of that. And then we have our primate stars. So here's our little orangutans. And then like gorilla and the chimpanzee. I'm working hard to kind of get the scale better on these. I think they're pretty all right, all things considering. Oh, this is gonna be like my little baby orangutan. So here's my little primate buddies. They of course need to be painted. That's a book, there's so much stuff in this thing. And then that's where that went. Okay, anyway. And then we have our little like tent that's gonna sit up on the platform and a little ladder for you to get up to the platform. So that's what I have so far for like the stuff to go in it. I need to print out a campfire still, and like obviously my people, but we're not even there yet. And then, I don't know why I showed you guys this part last, because this is the part I'm actually planning on doing first, but I printed out some more backdrops on sticker vinyl, so here's the foresty backdrops I'm gonna use for the back, and the book outer covering is gonna be Jungle Book, because, I don't know, it just kind of felt fitting for the Trimates to be all together in the jungle. So, first step is going to be applying the background to the panels so we can start to build our scene. I did this the same way I did it for my Marie Curie book nook, just applying the sticker on there and then using a X-Acto knife to cut it all out, which was really easy, and it provides such a really cool effect. And then I worked on the floor by adding in this like fake grass turf stuff my dad had for his model railroads, added on some sand he had as well, and some little gravel pieces. Thanks for model railroading. And then I glued the fake moss to the top as like a forest canopy. Alrighty, I have finished putting in the backdrops and the kind of floor and ceiling fake moss. So here we're looking at right now. This is what we're looking at right now. So I put in, I love the way the forest backdrop looks in the background, and then I've been gluing this fake moss to the ceiling to kind of be like the top forest canopy. I'm thinking that when it's officially done, I might extend it out like past the boxes and then even put some more down the walls. And then I also have this like grassy type of fake moss in here. I think I want to make like probably add some little reed grasses into it. But for the foreground here, it's kind of hard to see. Ooh, look at that. I'm getting another spam call. I don't need that. I need my flashlight. Thank you. We have like a sandy texture, and then I put like a little line of gravel and then a grassy texture. I probably, once again all the furniture is in here and I have like the fireplace and the people and the animals and the tent and everything, I will go back in and want to make it like blend everything in to make it much more natural. But here's what we're looking at right now. And then next step chronologically is I'm going to actually start to work on the people that are going to go in that. That is Jane Goodall, Dian Fossey, and Birute Galdikas, the Trimates. So let's go do some AI 3D printing work. So I talked about using Mesh AI for creating like my Marie Curie ones, and I just use the same exact program for creating all my Trimates. The way this works is you just go to Mesh AI, you make a website, and you basically just drag and drop a photo in there. So let's see what happens if I drag this photo of me using my camera. You upload it, it comes up with like some sort of name for it, and then you hit generate. Oh, it's gonna yell at me. Rolleiflex, gal, I don't know. So then you hit generate, it works on it, and 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 it works on it. And now it is, whoop, now it is generating an image. So you can see what I have currently on my screen is actually like a model. I uploaded a different picture of myself because it was like, we were in the middle of making a bunch of action figures. It has its faults sometimes. You see I'm missing like a heel. And it tends to make people look a little fatter than they actually are, which is an odd situation. But we're 55% of the way there. I'm just going to go ahead and skip till we're done. Just gotta wait for that AI to generate and to load. Beep. Ooh, we went from, ooh, we're almost there. It was ready. It was ready. Let's see what it did. Look at that! Alright, so it's a little weird because obviously it didn't have a full picture of me, so I have no legs. But, can I, well, I don't even know. So, it won't fully let me rotate it. But this is what it can produce, and then you can download that file and you can then upload that into a 3D printer software and you can 3D print it. So that's basically what I did with the Trimates. I just uploaded different pictures of the Trimates, uploaded them in a Meshy, tinkered with it until I liked the file, and then bam. Whee! Isn't that fun? So yeah, that's Meshy. That's how I created my little figurines for this series. Alright, I got all of the Trimates started printing, and as they're printing, I am going to start working on painting all of the accoutrements to the scene. So the Primates, the tent, the platform, and then we also have a campfire which is going to light up, which is very exciting. So while it's printing again, we're going to be painting. Alright, project update time. Since I last spoke, things got a little out of hand, as they typically do in my household, and I finished a lot more than I actually filmed. But anyway, here's where we stand. I kind of have everything currently in there, not finished or glued together yet, just kind of as placeholders, but I got all of the Trimates printed out. I got 10 painted gorillas painted, the platform painted, and then we even installed a fire that actually lights up. Let's have a closer look. So we have our tent, which will be constructed in the back room on the platform. In the back there, we have Birute Galdikas, and I decided to elevate her a little bit by sticking a crate underneath her And then we'll have Dian Fossey and her gorilla, another gorilla down there. And then we have Jane Goodall. Sorry, this is probably shaky. Jane Goodall. I'll focus on her. Working with a chimpanzee. And then we have this fire that, like I said, actually will light up in the finished product. It's kind of fun because some of my foliage has been falling out and falling down. And I actually want to encourage some of that to keep doing. And I'll probably add even more in once everything's in place, just for like that natural foresty effect. Okay, everything has been base coat painted. Oh, where are my orangutans? My orangutans are somewhere. They're not in yet, but they're going to hang from the ceiling. So everything is base coated in, and I'm going to go in and add some like shading pastels right now. So I actually have, hold on a second. Here's my orangutans. Aren't they so cute? They're going to hang. They've got this like brown and orange coat on them right now. So my dad actually has these like chalk pastels that he uses to like brush and shade, and they work really well. So that's what I'm going to use right now. So you didn't get to see the painting electricity rigging of this, but you will get to see the chalk dusting. And I'll also use some acrylic paint pens to add in some finer details on my great apes. And then I suppose we actually have to paint the Trimates. So let's do it. So yeah, like I mentioned, I went ahead and did chalk dusting and then also added in like the faces and feet for the primates because they're a little bit different color. Did that over to the gorillas and also the chimpanzee, looking up, reference photos because I don't know what they look like. Then I worked on painting the Trimates, which took several coats, different types of paint markers, paint pens, actually just acrylic paint. They were kind of a pain in the butt to paint. And then I placed everything in there, glued it down. Unfortunately, when I traveled back from Wyoming, I had a little bit of damage. You could see what happened here. So first, upon getting back, I had to put stuff back together, and then I added in more foliage like I discussed at the beginning of this video, kind of having it crawl outwards. Let's see the finished product. It's finished! Well, mostly. Again, my lights are on delay, so I haven't gotten those yet because traveling and etc. blah, 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 but eventually there will be a main light down there and then everything will be wired together, so I just have to turn on a switch like I did with my Marie Curie. But other than lighting, and this one's just generally a little less dark, this one is finished! Alright, I was using the Marie Curie one as like a trial one to like really prepare for this one, but then the Marie Curie one turned out so good that I was worried this one wasn't gonna be as good. But I freaking love the way it turned out. I love these little guys hanging from the ceiling. I love the vegetation kind of spilling forth out of the book nook, the little campfire that actually lights up. And then I love the fact that the like Trimates are more interacting with their environment. So we got Birute Galdikas all the way in the back observing her orangutans. Dian Fossey coming out of the tent with some gorillas, and then Jane Goodall and her chimpanzees. I think it just, ooh. And then I just love, like, literally the Jungle Book. Bam, it's the jungle! So, I had a lot of fun building these two book nooks this month, learned a lot. Maybe we'll have some more miniatures in the future. If you guys are into the science miniatures, let me know in the comments below. And let me know how you think this turned out. I adore it. And can't wait to reorganize my bookshelf so that these guys actually fit. These are the troubles of owning too many books. I'm gonna need a new bookshelf, but I'm also out of space in my office. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching these Women Scientist Book Nooks. We have a couple days left in 31 Days of Women Scientists, so be sure to not miss those outfits. And then when it hits April, I'll go back to posting my normal short form content of answering science questions. So if you got science questions, let me know. I love answering them. Thank you again for watching. If you want to donate and contribute to my science miniature shenanigans, oh, look at those orangutans, consider donating to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to this channel, and as always, keep it sciencey!